This would be Wednesday. You're not going to be on screen. You're fine. November 18th, regular class, as we go ahead and finish out the story, Man from the South. Oh, yeah, we'll get to that fun ending. And we'll go through and do our bell work real quick. For the bell work, we had 2 sentences. Focus. Good focusing. Jeepers, I cannot wait until Thanksgiving, and I am running a race early that morning. I figured real quick to try and be nice to you, because I'm practicing this whole being nice thing. If you had questions, I would try to answer them for you real quick, since before we take our volunteers. If there was one that you didn't know or one that you were confused on, I would try to help you out. But me being me, I can't just give you the answer, but I can try to point you in the right direction. Russell?
For the adjective, does that say 0 for the first sentence?
Adjectives, 0 in the first. Yep, you are correct. There are no adjectives in the first one. No questions then? Just thought I'd try to help out. Yay! Volunteers, people who have not gone yet that we can pick on. Russell. Well then, hang on. That's 1 volunteer, and you've already gone. It's a good try. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have you written. We have Maddox written down?
No.
All right.
Either.
Maddox, we'll write you down also. So write down Russell and write down Maddox. Russell, you volunteered first. You had sentence 1 or 2?
1.
Sentence 1. Maddox, you get sentence 2.
I don't want to see.
Too late.
You
All
can't
right,
make
Russell,
one.
come up to the middle. Good luck. And Jeepers, I cannot wait until Thanksgiving. What I will do for you, Maddox, is I will let you ask 1 question before you go. So if there's one thing that's confusing, I'll try to help you out there.
Okay.
I know, it's like a little gift to go. You hang on. And then, this is for you. You are allowed 1 mistake. Your second mistake means you forfeit. Okay. Jeepers, I cannot wait until Thanksgiving. So we start off with nouns. What's our noun?
The noun is Thanksgiving.
Correct. Your pronouns?
Is I.
Good job again. Verbs?
The verb is jeepers, which, yeah, jeepers.
Jeepers and?
That wasn't even loud.
Yeah,
I apologize. It's my
I
fault.
was thinking.
There we
Oh, stop. Jeepers is not a verb. It's a good try though.
Internet tricked me.
Yeah, because you can't jeeper something.
Wait is, wait.
Wait is 1.
And,
There's 1 other one. You can do it. I have faith that you can do it.
oh my god, he said.
I know that you can do it.
Can?
Is correct. That came to you. Can and wait are verbs. Adjectives? None. Adverbs? You have 1 adverb modifying one of your verbs.
Until.
Until is modifying which one is also incorrect. That's right, you still get to stay up there. Until, not an adverb. Can you wait?
Oh yeah.
So what would be your adverb?
Can.
No. In the sentence, can I wait? No. So it's modifying my ability to wait. So your adverb is
No.
not is your adverb. Because it goes, normally it's a contraction, can't, cannot, can't, because it's an adverb modifying the verb. That's why they get smashed together. So not's an adverb. Then your, let's see, adverb, preposition.
Can.
Can, you already have as a verb.
Okay.
It's tricky of you.
The preposition would be
Not jeepers.
until.
Good job. And then we have an interjection, which is always separated and off by itself. Only 1 word left.
Jeepers.
Good job. That's where jeepers comes in on that one. So you're not done. Silly child. Now I know. So much more learning to happen. For the verbs, for can and wait, that tell me they're boring or action. Is can boring or action?
Boring.
Good job. And wait,
Boring.
boring, is also incorrect. It's
Oh yeah.
action. If it's boring, it'll be on that list of the am, is, are, was, were, stuff like that. Can. So we have that. Adverb. What verb is not modifying?
Wait.
Wait is But close. On the bright side. Now you don't have to worry about me picking on you again, and you got done. Good job, Russell. Maddox.
Yeah.
You got it. 1 minute still sitting there waiting on you.
That's gonna be my man.
I like your thinking. Did you have any question you wanted to ask
I'm gonna
first?
save it.
Okay.
Can I save it?
I've never had that done before, but sure, I'm
Okay.
intrigued.
I is a pronoun.
I am running a race early that morning. It's good. We're starting off with nouns.
Oh. Morning.
Morning. Good. How many nouns do we have? 2. That's the very last thing, so obviously there's one before that.
Race.
I need confidence.
Race. It's race.
Race.
Yes.
Morning are your 2 nouns. Your pronoun
I.
is correct. Verbs.
Running
Mm-hmm.
and early.
And early. No!
I said no before.
It's too late on that one. So running is 1, but I can't put it up there because obviously there's one before it. There's only one word before it.
There's 2 words before it.
Yeah, but you've already told me that I is a pronoun.
So has to be am.
Yeah, that's the process of elimination. So am and running are your 2 verbs there. Adjectives, you have 1. Now to help you out,
Early.
you have 2 words left.
Early.
Early and
Early.
that.
It's
You have early and that. One's an adverb, one's an adjective.
Ooh.
So one's modifying a verb, one's modifying an adjective.
I like to use my question.
Okay. You don't get to ask them.
Oh, did I ask?
No, you're going to ask me, and I get to
Oh.
try and help guide you.
Is that an adverb?
Well, you have to figure out if it's an
No.
adverb.
It's early an adverb.
Okay. Then you have to figure out if it's an adverb, it's going to be modifying one of your verbs and telling you when something happens. If it tells you when it happens, then it's going to be an adverb.
So this word early is an adverb.
Could be. Is that what you want to go with? We're going with.
Well, you just told me that it has to be a time.
So you're going to commit. We have
Do it.
your adjective is.
Um,
What are you going with for your adjective?
Just do it.
that.
That. That's correct.
Yes, I got.
For your.
I'm getting meant.
You're not done yet.
What?
What's your adverb? Good job. Now for your verbs. Action or boring. You have am. Is am, action or boring?
Boring.
Boring.
No. Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
Running. That suspense thing. A whole nother way of adding suspense. Is running, action or boring?
Action.
Good job. And we have your adjective that. What word is that modifying?
Boring.
And your last one, which has all the mint writing on it. Early modifies what? So it's going to modify a verb or an adjective. Now, if it's doing that, my question is, what are you doing early?
I'm doing that.
So that's your word.
Oh my
God.
3,
What is it?
2,
What are you doing?
Oh my god.
I don't know. That.
What is it you're doing early? I'm.
That.
And I wanted to give it to you. But apparently, not badly enough. I'll leave that up for a moment for those of you who are still having to make corrections because there were issues. And
That's
then
a
we'll,
tiny circle for running.
I know. I'm okay with it.
Jimmy.
Running is not complaining. Then we'll finish out our story. This is what we got through yesterday. We have the main character, the 2 characters. We have the narrator who's there for the bet. What is it that the 2 characters are betting on happening?
Finger and a car.
Lighter.
Oh, if a lighter can light 10 times.
Lighter lighting 10 times. So that's what they're betting upon. I have not uploaded part 2 for you because as we go through and read it, I don't trust you to not try and read ahead and then start screaming about what's happening. So because of that, part 2 is not on there yet. So you're just going to have to wait and not prop up your iPad and try to lose points and stuff like that. Reagan?
So A doesn't have them?
No, it's an article actually. I'm going to count A, and, or the. If the boy can light it 10 times in a row, what does he win?
A car.
If the guy wins, and he doesn't light it 10 times in a row, what does the guy win? The ability to cut off someone's finger. So,
He's a cannibal.
and
He's gonna be eating
as he eats those points. And as we get into it, where is it that they are going? Yes, kid that is standing and can't make noise, but has not been doing well with it. Where is it they're going to be doing the bet?
In his room.
In the hotel room. And let's see, we got to the point where, and he talked to the maid and requested the maid bring 3 things.
Butcher knife, nails, and a
And a
hammer.
There you go. And there's the butcher knife, because you need a butcher knife for chopping through meat and bones, like a finger is a meat and a bone. And I think that's where we got to. And he was pulling over a table, is where we had stopped. And so the guy was getting everything set up, and he was pulling over a table and and that's where we began. All right. Back up and read the last paragraph again, and then we'll continue. It was just the usual kind of hotel writing desk. Just a plain rectangular table about 4 feet by 3 feet with a blotting pad, ink, pens, and paper. They carried it out into the room, away from the wall, and removed the writing things. And now, he said, a chair. He picked up a chair and placed it beside the table. He was very brisk and very animated, like a person organizing games at a children's party. And now, the nails. I must put in the nails. He fetched the nails, and he began to hammer them into the top of the table. We stood there, the boy, the girl, and I, holding drinks in our hands, watching the little man at work. We watched him hammer 2 nails into the table about 6 inches apart. He didn't hammer them right home, meaning he didn't hammer them all the way in. He allowed a small part of each one to stick up. Then he tested them for firmness with his fingers. Anyone would think this guy had done it before, I told myself. He never hesitates. Table, nails, hammer, kitchen chopper. He knows exactly what he needs and how to arrange it. And now, he said, all we want is some string. He went around and found some string. All right. At last, we are ready. Will you please to sit here at the table? He said to the boy. The boy put his glass away and sat down. Now place the left hand between these 2 nails, and I have 2 nails. Those are my 2 nails. And so they have hammering these 2 nails into the table. Place the left hand between these 2 nails. The nails are only so I can tie your hand in place. All right? Good. Now I tie your hand secure to the table like so. He wound the string around the boy's wrist, then several times around the wide part of the hand. Then he fastened it tight to the nails. He made a good job of it, and when he finished, there wasn't any question about the boy being able to draw his hand away, but he could move his fingers. Now please, clench the fist, all except for the little finger. You must leave the little finger sticking out lying on the table. Excellent, excellent. Now we are ready. With your right hand, you manipulate the lighter. One moment, please. He skipped over to the bed and picked up the chopper, came back and stood beside the table, the chopper in his hand. We are all ready. Mr. Referee, you must say, to begin. The English girl was standing there in her pale blue swimsuit, right behind the boy's chair. She was just standing there, not saying anything. The boy was sitting quite still, holding the lighter in his right hand, looking at the chopper. The little man was looking at me. Are you ready? I asked the boy. Yeah, I'm ready. And you? Oh, quite ready, he said. And he lifted the chopper up in the air and held it there about 2 feet above the boy's finger, ready to chop. The boy watched it, but he didn't flinch, and his mouth didn't move at all. He merely raised his eyebrows and frowned. To pause for a quick moment. With the way they have it set up, so you have the table with the 2 nails that have been smacked into it. And then he takes string, wraps it around the boy's wrist here, and then around the meaty part of the hand. And then from there, he wraps it around the 2 nails. So it's stuck to the table then that way, and then he has the guy stick his finger out. That way you can manipulate this with the right hand, and do that while your hand sits there the entire time. And the old guy stands right above him with the big chopper. And that way, as soon as you miss, it just goes whack it in, and the little finger nub comes flying off. All right, I said, go ahead, charge the kid more points. I know. Go ahead and come on over. We're going to have you have a seat over here.
Oh, come
It's the
on.
only thing I can do. You've lost 13 points in like 2 days. So I figured this will help you out.
There, it's my foot.
It was. Now it's not. All right, he said. Go ahead. The boy said, would you mind counting out loud the number of times I light it? Yeah, I said. That's fine, I'll do that. With his thumb, he raised the top of the lighter. And again, with the thumb, he gave the wheel a sharp flick. The flint sparked, and the wick caught fire and burned with a small yellow flame. 1! I called. If it doesn't work, Josh, we can always put you in the hallway. Okay, you good. Just make sure. He didn't blow the flame out. He closed the top of the lighter on it, and he waited for perhaps 5 seconds before opening it again. He flicked the wheel very strongly, and once more there was a small flame burning on the wick. 2! No one else said anything. The boy kept his eyes on the lighter. The little man held the chopper up in the air, and he too was watching the lighter. 3! 4! 5! 6! 7! Obviously, it was one of those lighters that worked. The flame gave a big spark, and the wick was the right length. I watched the thumb snapping the top down onto the flame, then a pause, and the thumb raising the top once more. This was an all-thumb operation. The thumb did everything. I took a breath, ready to say 8. The thumb flicked the wheel. The flint sparked. The little flame appeared. 8! I said. And as I said it, the door opened, and we all turned and saw a woman standing in the doorway. A small, black-haired woman, rather old, who stood there for about 2 seconds, then rushed forward shouting, "Carlos! Carlos!" She grabbed his wrist, took the chopper from him, threw it on the bed, took hold of the little man by the lapels of his white suit, which are the things that are right up here, and began to shake him very vigorously, talking to him fast and loud and fiercely all the time in some Spanish-sounding language. She shook him so fast you couldn't see him anymore. He became a faint, misty, quickly moving outline, like the spokes of a turning wheel. Then she slowed down, and the little man came into view again, and she hauled him across the room, and then threw him backward onto one of the beds. He sat on the edge of it, blinking his eyes, and testing his head to see if it would still turn on his neck. "I'm so sorry," the woman said. "I am so terribly sorry that this should happen." She spoke almost perfect English. "It is too bad. I suppose it is really my fault. For 10 minutes I leave him alone to go and have my hair washed, and I come back, and he is at this again." She looked sorry and deeply concerned. The boy was untying his hand from the table. The English girl and I stood there and said nothing. "He is a menace. Down where we live, at home, he has taken altogether 47 fingers from different people, and he has lost 11 cars. In the end, they threatened to have him put away somewhere. That's why I brought him up here." "We were only having a little bet," mumbled the little man from the bed. "I suppose he bet you a car?" "Yeah, a Cadillac." "He has no car. It is mine, and that makes it worse, that he should bet you when he has nothing to bet with. I'm ashamed and very sorry about it all." She seemed an awfully nice woman. "Oh, well," I said, "here's the key of your car back." And I put it down on the table. "We're only having a little bet," mumbled the little man. "He hasn't anything left to bet with," the woman said. "He hasn't a thing in the world, not a thing. As a matter of fact, I myself won it all from him a long while ago. It took time, a lot of time, and it was hard work, but I won it all in the end." She looked up at the boy, and she smiled, a slow, sad smile, and she came over and put out a hand to take the key from the table. And I can see it now. That hand of hers had only one finger on it, and a thumb. And that's where it ends. To explain the ending of the story, we don't get to find out who wins the bet because we get interrupted. And who comes in?
The mother.
A woman. Now, we don't know exactly who she is yet, and that's where the guesses come in. And it turns out that our guy, we know the guy's name. What's his name? Carlos. Carlos has a problem. Carlos has an addiction, if you will. And what is Carlos's addiction?
Cutting girls.
Cutting
Oh,
fingers.
that. Pinky.
Gambling. The problem is Carlos is addicted to gambling. And gambling becomes an even bigger problem when you're rich, like Carlos was. Because when you're rich, money doesn't have meaning to you. So you don't want to gamble for money because you don't want to get more of something that doesn't mean anything. You need to find something that becomes important. So gaining money, not fun. So what has he found? Because if you lose money, you can always make more money. But he found something that people don't want to lose. And what is it people don't want to lose? All of a sudden, gambling became much more exciting for him. So he becomes addicted to the idea of that kind of gambling. Well, the question becomes, well, Mr. Broviak, who's the lady? I don't know for sure, but here's my process of elimination. Is it his mom? Well, how old is he?
He's 70-something.
Yeah, and so how old would his mom be?
90.
Dead. Yeah, so I'm going to go, probably not alive. Well, they're like, well, is it his wife? Good question. If you were married to him and he had this problem, what would you do? Divorce him. I've got a feeling that probably happened too. So who would it be then that
His
could not
sister.
divorce away?
Sister.
My guess is probably a sister, because it says that she's also old. Could be a daughter, but they talk about her being old, so I'm like, I don't know. I'm guessing it's probably a sister, because if it's your brother, and you do this thing called loving your siblings, and you don't want to like just leave them because they're going to throw him, they say, you know, put him away somewhere, so I don't know, jail, crazy house, somewhere bad. She's trying to save him. Problem is, you can't just take his stuff. It's his stuff. There's only one way to get his stuff. What is the only way for her to get his stuff? She has to gamble against him. And of course, that's where the addiction comes in. She loves her brother enough to try and save him by gambling against him to get all the stuff from him. And apparently he has a pretty good win record, because how many fingers has he taken? 47 fingers. And how many cars has he lost?
11.
That's a pretty good record of 47 to 11 is your win losses. So he's doing pretty well. It's a 4-to-1 ratio, almost a 5-to-1 ratio. The problem is, when she goes to do the betting, according to Carlos, what hand does he normally start with?
Left.
The left hand. When she comes up to grab the car keys, how many fingers does she have left?
2.
2 that are left on her right hand. Which means, how many times has she lost? I'm guessing 8 times. All the fingers on that hand, 3 fingers on this hand. Maybe toes, for all we know. Because she had to have these 2 fingers left. The reason they had to have these 2 fingers left is, what is it Carlos likes to bet on doing? Lighting a lighter. And throughout the story, the guy keeps saying it was an all-thumb action, that you could just do it with 2 fingers. So if you have those fingers gone, and you only have those 2 left, you can still do it. It's just not easy to do. So that's why it comes down to those 2. Plus, when she left him alone, where was she?
Getting her hair done.
And realize it just seems like a rather throwaway comment, but her getting her hair washed, probably for a reason, because she can't do it herself, so she kind of has to have someone wash her hair. And so you realize some of the issues that go into it. And that's our story. The grabbing of them, well, you have the 2 fingers there, and then the other side, I don't know. I've kind of wondered that too. I always kind of, I don't know if she just like grabs onto it, like, I don't know. Anyway, I found a story that helps you with suspense, because I think the story definitely had suspense, and I doubt you'll forget it.